Okay, good afternoon everyone. Boy Smoking Pipe Padre here, and I'm recording using this brand new GoPro Hero 7 Black, and this is what they're saying is that this is the gimbal killer. The gimbal killer. Let's go over here, shall we? And we're just going to sit down and have a pipe and a little chat, shall we? A little chat there, yeah. Okay, so the gimbal killer. Okay. Now, I might have to do something creative here. And let's see here. Use that there. Maybe that'll work. Okay. Let's see here. I have a GoPro app on here, and I'm just wondering if it will let me. Connect to the camera, so I have a viewfinder. You hear the wind chimes in the background. Okay, what does it say here? Okay. Reconnect your camera to your iPhone. I got it connected to the iPhone. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, let's see what we got here. There's a viewfinder on the back here. Okay. That should be good. All right. That should be fine. Okay. Well, okay. So, Boy Smoking Pipe Padre here with the Ben Wade. Smoking in it some Presbyterian mixture. Great lads and lassies. And I'm smoking it on this Ben Wade. I don't know if you can even see it. It might be a little bit too, old, dear, lovable Ben Wade. So, okay, it is October. October 2018. I'm out here. Gosh, it's a gorgeous day. It is an absolutely gorgeous day. I mean, you couldn't ask for a more refreshing, beautiful, autumnal day. It's just absolutely one of those days that are just absolutely, you got to be outside. You just have to be outside in, you know, God's creation. Now, I'm trying two different things here. I'm trying to use a new GoPro, and I'm going to try and marry it up with this audio here. I think it'll be a nice combination, providing it works. But I haven't done this before. This brand new camera, and so anyway, oh my gosh, I just gotta love the beautiful fall weather. It's just wow, it's invigorating. In a pipe, again, I think fall is the perfect time to start if you're going to get into the pipe hobby. It just seems to lend itself because you know, the nights are a little bit long, the days are shorter, the temperatures for the most part are a lot more mild, and it kind of lends itself to just kind of being able to go outside and just enjoy the weather. You know, whatever libation you like to drink. Got some coffee here with a little bit of heavy whipping cream in there. And so it is for all account, for all of the things that are going on in the world, and there's a lot of them. It's a wonderful day to be alive and to enjoy some of the finer things, the simpler pleasures in life. Well, so I will say this, that I like Presbyterian mixture. It's simply It is an English blend, so it's not an aromatic sweet blend, but it's full flavored, and it is actually quite delicious. Delicious, aloysious. Okay. Very evocative of nostalgic things. And you've got a little bit of dappled sunlight here. I kind of feel like I'm in a Monet outdoor scene or something, or Manet or whatever. Monet, yeah. All I need is some water lilies here in the background and a couple of beautiful French ladies in their beautiful plumage. And some little sandwiches, little cucumber sandwiches, you know. Maybe a little, again, for those who do imbibe, a little sparkling Chablis or something like that, you know. Yeah, it's a beautiful day today. Well, I am here because, by golly, I'm going to be unabashed, unashamed, and just say congratulations to Justice Brett Kavanaugh. The world rejoices. Although there are some liberal tears to be collected, without a doubt. Love the taste of those liberal tears. Boy, delicious. But I want to talk a little bit about this as I have in the last two videos. And then we'll move on to the next calamity follies, the next political follies, you know. Let me ask you a question. We've been focusing on this for over a month now, the Brett Kavanaugh saga. Has anybody seen any Russian collusion? Whatever happened to that story? Just saying. Just saying. So, Justice Kavanaugh was confirmed yesterday. Minus one vote. He could have had 51-48, but didn't need it. So we now have a new justice. And there's just there's still a lot of fallout. There probably will be for, you know, maybe the next couple of weeks. And I do have one thing I'll say in closing, but I think I'll just go through the things that, you know, the highlights that I think are important to discuss. And just share with you from my, again, and I just share with you that these are my personal reflections and thoughts, you know. I am aware that there are some of you who probably don't care for politics, and that's okay. There's other YouTube channels out there you can go to and listen to them, and you're certainly welcome to. It is still a free country. At least the last time I checked it was. Yeah. And you can even drip on yourself if you have to. Just real quick, this pipe, this Ben Wade pipe, I might actually be running out of, wow, that's going by pretty fast. This Ben Wade used to belong to a dear friend of mine. I mean, he's still among the land of the living, but he doesn't smoke pipes anymore. But this was one of his Danish freehands, and I always loved it. And when he decided he was going to quit the smoking hobby, he bequeathed it to me, and I'm very grateful. And it's just I think it's just a wonderful pipe. It just has lots of character. It always has. It's what I think of when I think of a Danish freehand. Danish freehand, yeah. Love Danish freehands. Always have, always will. Although I have to say my Presbyterian mixture, because it's a little bit on the dry side, Unfortunately, it is causing, you always have plenty of pipe cleaners, pipe pals and gals. It's causing a little bit of moisture, condensation, but that's life. So, let me get back to the topic at hand, shall I? Oh. I don't know how this is turning out. I got some really interesting light here, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm just making this video. One of the things that I've done a couple of times, and I just did it for my other channel, which I'm a little disappointed in. I was doing the streaming, and the problem was that the streaming, I used my Yeti, my snowball mic, and unfortunately I think that because it is a secondary audio, it's not completely synced properly, and so unfortunately you got a lag in that. And unfortunately I noticed it just this afternoon when I went to play one of my streamed one of my homily video this week, and unfortunately it was out of sync. And unfortunately I think that's hard. It's hard to listen to. It's not hard to listen to, you just can't listen and watch because again, you're out of sync, and it's very awkward. So I have to find another way, maybe just use again the native audio, native recording on the phone, and just let it go and not worry about it, even though this will hopefully have a little bit better audio quality, providing I can marry it up. If not, the new audio quality on the new GoPro Hero 7 is not only touting the stabilization on this camera, but also an improved audio source. So we'll see. Most of the time, audio on GoPros, going back to the first one I've ever had, GoPro Hero 4, just wasn't that good. Now you can buy external mics for them that make them a little bit better, but supposedly GoPro is trying to make the native audio much better. So we'll see. So getting back to the Justice Kavanaugh and all the brouhaha surrounding him, and Christine blah blah Ford. Yes, I'm going to continue to say Christine blah blah Ford. It's interesting to note at this time of this recording, she has decided to completely withdraw all of her accusations and kind of just go away. That should tell you something. And the other two people who were making salacious, untenable accusations, I wouldn't want to be Michael Avenatti today. I wouldn't want to be him. Wouldn't want to be him and even tomorrow or any day of the week, but certainly I wouldn't want to be him tonight, because he's definitely got a lot of political egg on his face. Again, what it boils down to, and I just had a comment from somebody. I wish I could remember your name, but maybe it's not that I don't want to call you out like I'm challenging you, but I mean, you had a comment which I thought was interesting. Well, what about the fact that he put his hand on her mouth? What about that? Well, again, okay, that's what she said. Where's the evidence? Where is the corroborating evidence? Even Harvard, I have to tell you, one of the people I really admire a lot and respect is Alan Dershowitz, and he's not a Trumpster. He's definitely against Trump, but he's for the law. He's for the Constitution, and he said, sorry, you've got to bring corroborating evidence. Just because a person, whether it's a woman or a man even, makes an allegation, we need to listen to them, but until they substantiate it with facts and evidence, you can't believe them. That's what we do in America. We presume, thanks be to God it still is, you are innocent until proven guilty. And in order to prove guilt, spirit sprayed there. In order to prove guilt, you have to bring facts and hard evidence. And that was the thing that was missing with Christine blah blah Ford's whole testimony. There was no evidence not one iota. That's my Gregory Peck impersonation from To Kill a Mockingbird. The reason why I think this is really important, Bill, is because, and I've even heard from some of you have challenged me and I've challenged you. Again, we say, a lot of us would say that under the Constitution, in American law, everyone has the right of due process. You are innocent until proven guilty. And that's all true. That's all true. If you're an American and you believe in the Constitution. But the one thing that a lot of people, I think, are just beginning to wake up to, there is a growing movement of anarchists and communists that clearly they don't want to be Americans. They live here, they enjoy their quality of life, but they don't want to be Americans. They don't want to be ruled by the Constitution for whatever reason. And that's where it's going to get really interesting, because there's so many young people today, because they want free everything, free health care. They want a free guaranteed government job. Actually, you know, let's look at the Soviet Union. That worked out really well for hundreds and thousands of people. They got free government jobs in wonderful, you know, vacation spots like Siberia. We called it the Gulag Archipelago. Delicious. It's a wonderful way of life. Not. And that's what so many young people, I think, don't understand. They hear on the surface that it's all free this and free that, but they don't understand that, again, there was one guy I just heard just the other day, and clearly, I wish I could play what he said, because he basically said, yeah, I want to abolish the government and just establish socialism. In other words, a lot of these young people think that the quality of life or the way of life that whether they enjoy it or not, or maybe they take it for granted, they just assume that structure would remain the same, but then you add on top of it all the other things that they want. But that's not how it works. If you tear down the law of the land, the U.S. Constitution that this country that operates under right now, if you were to destroy that through, say, a communist or an anarchist revolution, the things that we take for granted, the things that we enjoy, our economy, our way of life, our government, it'd all be gone. It would all change radically. And this one guy said he just wanted to abolish government altogether. No, it doesn't work that way. See, here's the problem. A lot of people have been led to believe, because they have not been taught, that you have to have conservative and quote-unquote liberal ideas that come together. You can't have one without the other. You know, everybody thinks that liberalism is all about for the little guy and taking care of all the vulnerable. Well, except for the unborn. We can flush them out of a womb anytime we want to. They don't have any rights, even though they're human beings. We can destroy them at will. You know, don't need a reason. Just, you know, rip them out and flush them down the toilet, or throw them in a garbage heap somewhere. They don't have any rights. Yes, they do. Actually, they have the right to life. But it doesn't count for them. And now we're even looking at it on the other end of the age spectrum for the elderly. You know, people are now beginning to tell, and we said this is going to happen. People now are going to people that are elderly. They're still fully alive. Maybe don't have the quality of life that they once enjoyed. But because they're now becoming a burden, we really think that you just need to, well, you know, help them exit this life, because we need that bed right now. That's happening. So unless we kind of get a really good appreciation for conservatism, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, see, the problem is with conservatism, it is that part of government, the necessary part of government, just like the liberal side is the necessary part of government, that puts in a structure that you can hang things on. It's not, you know, again, when we think about a human body, you know, we are, the thing that basically helps us to do everything isn't our brains. I mean, our brains certainly are very, very important, but it's our skeletal structure. Now, skeletons aren't pretty, obviously. That's why they're like Halloween decorations. Ooh. They're not cuddly. Skeletons really aren't cuddly. But by golly, they sure are necessary. And that's what conservatism is. It's that part that we really don't see, but it's the structure that holds everything up. It's necessary. You have to have it. Another analogy, which isn't really, again, it makes my point by making it, oh, I don't like that. It's like a sewer system. You know, you don't really think about it until things start backing up and stinking. Because after that, we begin to experience wonderful diseases, people get sick, and they die. Okay? So you have to have a good sewer system. You have to have a good septic system. You know, it's just like our human bodies. You know, we enjoy food and delicious things. That's at one end of it. But the other end of it, you've got to have a good, healthy, functioning colon to move that crap out. And sometimes conservatism, again, it's not pretty, but it sure is necessary. Just think about the last time you got yourself bound up and constipated and you realize, man, I need a good working, you know, digestive system. I need to be able to eliminate. Yeah, it's wonderful to enjoy delicious things, but if I can't eliminate them, they back up pretty darn quick. That's conservatism. You know, you've got to have it. It's not the most elegant, the most pristine. You know, it's not like, you know, a Monet painting where you are sitting in the dappled light and, you know, life is wonderful and, you know, you can hear the beautiful tinkling of the chimes and you can, you know, see the gay flowers and the trees, you know, and all that stuff. It's, you know, that's part of life. But there's that other side of life that also is vitally important. And a lot of people today have never been taught that that's necessary for good society. And so, you know, we look at what happened with Judge Kavanaugh. Isn't it interesting, after, 30 some odd years, at the very last minute, all of these quote-unquote allegations were brought forward within a matter of days. That should tell you something, folks. Come on, don't be naive. Don't be gullible. And again, thanks be to God, we still have due process. We still have the constitutional form of government that we live under and hopefully we can appreciate. Supposing somebody was to bring an accusation against you. I've been hearing people say stupid things. Well, if somebody brings an accusation, well, that must mean they're guilty. Go figure. How does that figure? Until you're the one who's being falsely accused, yeah, it might be convenient for you to say, oh, I don't like that person. Yeah, they're guilty. The people that think that way are the same people that brought us the Salem witch trials, the French Revolution, the Gulag Archipelago, the lynchings in the South, and the McCarthy era. Accusations are what the mob does. That's not government. That is the mob rule. And mob rule is a very ugly thing. So the problem is that this is where we're at today. And it's based, I think it's predicated on ignorance. There's just a lot of ignorant young people that think that, again, give me free stuff. Give me free education. Give me free health care. Give me free, and a free government job. And yeah, okay, you'll get a free government job, all right. You won't like it. So, yes, it's a great victory not just for Judge Kavanaugh, and not for the Trumpster. Let's leave him out of it, shall we? Okay. It's a great victory for the Constitution. Yes, the Constitution is by its very nature conservative. And I'll say something that probably won't maybe make myself endear myself to some of you, but the problem is that with abortion and, I'm going to say it, gay rights or gay marriage, not gay rights, but gay marriage, and I've always said this, again, in a representational democracy, the people should have the right to vote on these things. Abortion was finagled through Justice Blackburn when he did some real chicanery, some real leisure domain of real, kind of sliding of the, the little shell game, the constitutional shell game, and said, voila, right to privacy. Therefore, you can have a right to an abortion. Excuse me? Try to figure that one out. The same thing happened with the gay marriage issue. Again, I kept saying all along, let's let the people decide. Put it up for a vote. Because why? Because, what was it, I want to say Van Helsing, Vaughn Williams, or not Vaughn Williams, that's a composer. But Justice Vaughn Walker, was it Vaughn Walker, Walker Vaughn, or whatever? When it came to hearing arguments for and against, he said, we're not going to hear any more religious moral arguments against this. What? Basically you took out the argument of the other side. And unfortunately, again, through some chicanery, that Judge Vaughn Walker should have recused himself because he's a gay man. He should have just said, you know what, I really can't hear this. I need to give it to somebody more impartial. But he didn't do that. And I kept, when I hear about that every time, we get into that, I said, you know what, folks, we really need to put it to a vote of the people. Okay? Let the people decide. These are issues that are going to affect everybody one way or another. So let the people have their say. Let them have a vote. But they didn't do that on those two very crucial issues. And so the reason why Kavanaugh is a real threat to people is because Kavanaugh is going to say what the Constitution says, not what political hacks want it to say. And that's what a lot of people are afraid of. So anyway, so that's the thing about Justice Kavanaugh's victory. I think it's a victory for the Constitution. Uh-oh. Oh no, do I have any more flame? Oh. So, well, that's delicious. Let me have some more of those liberal tears here. Here we go. Oh, that's delicious. Wonderful. So, but I wanted to say this one thing in closing. One last thing before I say my last thing is I think that Susan Collins is a hero. Lisa Murkowski is a zero. Susan Collins really laid it out there succinctly, elegantly, completely. I just think she just had a great summation of what this is really all about. Again, it goes back to the Constitution. But but here's where we need to stop and think about something. Our elected officials, yes, they have to dabble in politics, but we don't elect them to really be political. We elect them to govern. Okay, that's their job. They are called to govern this country. Again, according to the laws of the land. And right now, all they're doing is dabbling in politics. And politics is nothing more or nothing less than destruction of individuals and ideologies. That's what politics is all about. It's furthering an ideology. Now, sometimes, yeah, you have to wage those political battles. But what I see happening is that the people on the left, what they're doing is they're constantly trying to find political, engaging in political fights and wars instead of doing the job they were elected for, and that is governing this country. And that's where the breakdown is. Everything has become a war based on personal politics. Whether you're trying to destroy President Trump, you're trying to destroy Judge Kavanaugh, that's all politics, and that's bad. That's bad. That's why I think a lot of people, to include a lot of young people, they are disillusioned with government as it is. That's all they see is political infighting. Again, politicians have a higher responsibility to do the business of the people's government, not party politics. And if they could get back to that guiding principle, maybe, just maybe, we might be able to restore some unity in our country again. But right now, certain senators and congressmen and women, they're looking for their Spartacus moment. They're trying to destroy the president. They're trying to destroy his administration. And, you know, one thing I told some people online, I said, if you guys want to be able to pick a Supreme Court justice, well, you need to win an election. And in order to win an election, instead of screaming and crying like children, spoiled children, you need to learn to stand up and make an argument like an adult. Because all this yelling and screaming and acting like kids, spoiled kids throwing temper tantrums, it doesn't work. The American people, by and large, have lost patience with you people on the left because you act like a bunch of spoiled, rotten kids who didn't get their allowance, didn't get their way. It's not fair. Tell you something a wise man once told me, you don't always get what you want. Life isn't always fair. And the thing that you do want, it's going to cost you a whole lot more than you ever dreamed that it would. In other words, an adult has to stand up and make a decision. They have to argue, convincingly argue their cause. Not just because they're a certain gender or a certain political persuasion, therefore you have to believe me. No, I'll listen to you, and if you can show with convincing evidence that you're telling me the truth, then and only then am I going to believe you. So that's what I would say to those who are upset and angry tonight. And again, most people are angry. Why? Because they're afraid they're going to lose the right to legally kill a subset of human beings called the unborn. That's what this was all about. It's about abortion. We all know that. And people say, but it's a right, it's a right. Well, you know what? It's bad law is what it was. And just like, you know, there was another thing, another interesting institution in our past, our not too distant past, that was totally legal. It was called slavery. And we recognized that that was wrong. And we overturned that. Please God, we will someday come to the realization that the killing of unborn, innocent human beings is absolutely wrong and evil. And it too must be and will be overturned. Hope you got something out of that. Thank you for watching. Just say light up your world, light up your pipe. I'm going to go back now and see if I can put this all together and upload it sometime this afternoon, this evening. Until then, Holy Smoking Pipe Padres, signing off for now. Take care and enjoy a pipe wherever you're at today. See ya. Hero, stop recording.